What if we told you there are more US troops in Los Angeles right now than in Iraq and Syria combined? As immigration protests erupt across the country, state and federal authorities are turning to full-scale militarization. Let's break down what's happening. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has announced a statewide deployment of the National Guard. In a post on X, Abbott said the troops will be used to maintain law and order during ongoing anti-immigration protests. Texas National Guard will be deployed to locations across the state to ensure peace and order. Peaceful protest is legal. Harming a person or property is illegal and will lead to arrest. At Texas Guard will use every tool and strategy to help law enforcement maintain order, he wrote. He also pledged new legal protection for police forces.
In Texas, our law enforcement officers are on the front lines to keep Texas a law and order state. To have their backs, I am signing a law to ensure they can use every tool available to combat criminals without being targeted by rogue prosecutors. In Texas, we support our law enforcement officers.
This comes just after the Trump administration deployed thousands of troops to Los Angeles in response to mass demonstrations over aggressive immigration raids. On Monday, President Trump sent an additional 2,000 National Guardsmen to the city. That adds to 2,000 guards already on the ground, along with 700 Marines. The total, nearly 4,800 military personnel in Los Angeles. For comparison, only 2,500 American troops remain in Iraq and Syria combined. The unrest isn't limited to La anymore. By Tuesday night, large demonstrations had broken out in at least a dozen cities, including New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Washington, D.C. The protests are in direct response to Trump's crackdown on immigration and his decision to deploy the military on U.S. soil. Trump escalates rhetoric. On Tuesday, President Trump addressed the controversy during a speech at Fort Bragg, marking the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. There, he lashed out at protesters in Los Angeles. He called them animals and a foreign enemy. He described their demonstrations as an invasion.
And before going further, I want to say a few words about the situation in Los Angeles, California. Have you heard of the place? Where I've deployed thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines to protect federal law enforcement from the attacks of a vicious and violent mob. And some of the radical left, they say, oh, that's not nice. Well, if we didn't do it, there wouldn't be a Los Angeles. It'd be burning today, just like their houses were burning a number of months ago. Generations of Army heroes did not shed their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion and third world lawlessness here at home, like is happening in California. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not let that happen. It's never going to happen. What you're witnessing in California is a full-blown assault on peace, on public order, and on national sovereignty carried out by rioters bearing foreign flags with the aim of continuing a foreign invasion of our country. We're not going to let that happen. Dysfunction and disorder. And you know what? Not only are these service members defending the honest citizens of California, they're also defending our republic itself. And they are heroes. They're in there, they're heroes. Without us, you'd all be speaking German right now. Maybe a little Japanese thrown in. These are animals. But they proudly carry the flags of other countries, but they don't carry the American flag. They only burn it. Did you see a lot of the flags being burned? They weren't being burned by people from our country or from people that love our country. People that burn the American flag should go to jail for 1 year.
Trump defended his decision to send the National Guard and Marines to the city. He promised to liberate Los Angeles, vowing to make it free, clean, and safe. He also hinted at invoking the Insurrection Act, a rare move that would allow him to deploy active-duty military forces for domestic enforcement. And ahead of an upcoming military parade in Washington, D.C., he issued a stark warning. He said any unrest at the event would be met with, in his words, very big force. The showdown is widening. While federal and state leaders continue to defend the military deployments, legal and political opposition is rising, especially in California, where leaders are openly challenging Trump's use of force. But with troops now on standby across multiple states, and protests refusing to die down, this may only be the beginning.